I must say that my vision, if it can be called that, would have been very nebulous as a vision. You know, there's a saying that vision is greater than sight, because in vision there's the limitless imagination. There are no barriers, no limits to imagination.
It was indeed God's time to fulfill the dreams and answer the prayers of those Ontario Mennonites who had hoped for a school of higher learning.
I came here as a new student the very year that this residence opened. We students were part of this creative experiment that is now known as Conrad Grebel University College.
It was a new experiment in Mennonite education. The University of Waterloo was a public institution. To create a Christian, let alone a Mennonite school in the midst of this was unprecedented to many in the Mennonite community. To some, it seemed almost impossible.
We flew from the local airport directly to Goshen. We went for counsel, and did we ever get it? In essence, we were told that such a setting couldn't possibly come close to achieving the basic goals of Christian education, and we were strongly urged not to proceed. Of course, graduates from such a college will be different, but that does not mean they will be inferior. In fact, the opposite may be true.
This was a new kind of Mennonite student the college's founders were seeking to nurture and form. The world was changing rapidly. Young Mennonites were moving off the farm into cities, working in business and industry. Instead of separating from the world, Grebel was helping its students participate in it, but with the same Christian and Mennonite convictions so important to the college's namesake. The first Grebel classes were offered in September 1963. A year later, the first building was completed, and the new college opened with beds for 106 students. J. Winfield Fretz served as the first president, and Walter Clausen as the first chaplain. With the president's office just down the hall from student bedrooms, and with both the president and chaplain also teaching courses, the connection between academics, faith, and student life was easy to see. The experiment in education that was Conrad Grebel had begun. The college became the center of music education at the university, and also offered courses in religious studies, history, sociology, and English. Classes were open to all university students.
Weekly chapel services provided opportunity for students to participate in and to lead in worship, though there were always debates about how best to do that.
A library was established in 1964. It was later named after Milton Good, one of the college's founders. The Mennonite Archives of Ontario, an existing institution, moved into Grebel in 1965. The Archives, specializing in materials on Anabaptist and Mennonite studies, welcomes researchers from the academy and community. In 1975, a new academic building was created and expanded the library and archive spaces. Early on, an emphasis emerged on education around peacemaking. The peace advocacy organization Project Plowshares started at the college in 1976. That same year, the college's own Peace and Conflict Studies program was launched with newly hired director Conrad Brunk.
And within 6 months, we had approval from the University of Waterloo Senate for a program of an option, an interdisciplinary option in peace studies, which is the way we wanted it, rather than to have a major, so that we could involve as many departments and as many faculty at the university as we could, not in a competitive but in a cooperative venture. And that's how the program got off the ground.
As with other students at Grebel, PAC students have benefited from Grebel's teaching, complemented by the University of Waterloo's focus on providing matching field experience.
For me, this is where the proverbial rubber hit the road, where theory was tested by practical experience. This entire internship for me was life-changing and perspective-altering. It was full of experiences that at once challenged and affirmed my own personal theories about peace nonviolence, and reconciliation.
Because if we can do anything to assist our students to find a life that is meaningful, and we believe a most meaningful life is one in which one serves not primarily oneself, but the larger community, our neighbor, mankind, then we have made a major contribution. Then we have fulfilled our calling as a Christian college.
Another area of service has been Grebel's programs of theological education. Jim Reimer headed the development of a Masters of Theological Studies program starting in 1986. He taught courses for this new graduate degree, as well as developing connections with the Toronto School of Theology, creating the Toronto Mennonite Theological Centre. Since its inception, the MTS program has provided many area Mennonite pastors with opportunities to enrich their ministry with theological education at a school close to home. The college continued to expand in terms of students and programs through the 90s and 2000s. Music remained a large area of student interest. By the late 1990s, 40 to 50% of overall Grebel teaching was in the music department. One area of outreach was through the college chapel choir, which has made numerous trips out into the community, as well as recording 6 CDs so far. New student facilities were added to the building in 1992. A substantial further addition came in 2003 when the John Taves Atrium was opened, including additional space for music practice and teaching on the first level. Increased residence spaces and a new student apartment building were also added in 2003, raising residential student capacity to 174 beds. The residential life of the college has reflected the diversity of its context right from the start, with a consistent ratio of about half the residents coming from Mennonite backgrounds.
We, the students, are a very diverse group. We are mathematicians and philosophers. We are Christian Reformed, Pentecostal, and Mennonite. We are number crunchers and romantics. We are writers and computer programmers. Together, we encompass a wide variety of interests, opinions, and ideas. Grebel is learning about the faiths of the people around you, be it Muslim, Catholic, Anglican, United, or Mennonite. Grebel is where, when you leave, you realize how much has happened, how many people have influenced your life, and how many may have been influenced by yours, how much you've changed, and where you've grown.
That time of change reaches a final celebratory point at convocation. Having learned, served, and grown, 50 years of Grebel graduates have gone on to make a difference in the world.
Today, Conrad Grebel is planning a vibrant future, extending its horizons in active peacemaking and global engagement as we recommit ourselves to scholarly excellence and inspired teaching. Today, we remember the courage, fortitude, and vision of the founders of Conrad Grebel College, church men and women who took a gamble, an imaginative leap of faith on a unique educational model. A Mennonite-inspired liberal arts college that would partner across the creek with a public world-class research university, the University of Waterloo. For 50 years, Conrad Grebel has inspired mind and spirit. So many students, faculty, staff, board members, alums, supporters have contributed to the value and the vitality of this unique Mennonite college. Together, we will write the next chapter of this remarkable place we call Grebel.